Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hi, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all, episode 419. I'm Adam Walker.
And I'm Sanjay Park, and we are recording in front of a live studio audience today.
Which is not weird or awkward in any way at all.
Yeah, it's very weird. And this is the first time we've been recording together in person since 2020.
Yeah.
Now at this point.
Yeah, I've missed your pretty face. That's what I'm just,
I can imagine you did, yeah.
I mean, I've seen you since then, but it is nice to laugh with you more.
Exactly, yeah. There's no delay of the internet when we're talking like this.
It's not weird.
So it's actually,
that's true.
It's actually quite nice.
We have a great show for you and you today.
Yeah. But by the way, I was going to say this too. You know, I think we might have shot ourselves in the foot by having a live studio audience because none of these people are actually going to listen to the podcast afterwards, and that's going to hurt our metrics.
I'm actually more concerned that when we say something and I laugh, that they're not gonna. That's actually
that's definitely going to.
That's really the bigger concern.
That's 100%.
It's going to get weird and awkward.
Yes.
I apologize to all of you, but it's going to be fun. So we have a lot of articles to cover today, and we'll cover some in more depth than others. We got AI in the workplace, security, which everybody knows Sanjay doesn't care about, big tech policies, all kinds of stuff, and then weird and wacky at the end, and of course tech recs at the end. I'm going to recommend my favorite piece of technology that Sanjay is going to make fun of me for. So
100%.
It's going to be great. So, all right, Sanjay, what we got first?
So up first, as AI use increases at work, many employees still choose not to use it.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I don't know who these people are.
Who's working and not using AI? What are you doing with your life? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it just makes you so much more productive, right?
Yeah.
It gets the rote stuff out so that you can focus your time on the important stuff.
It did make me wonder as I was reading this article, like, did they only survey knowledge workers? Because there's a lot of the workforce that has no use for AI.
I mean, I guess that's true, right? Like,
but it just, I don't know.
Paving roads or something, you're not going to be using AI.
I hope not.
Really
but it just seemed, it was like 30% using it? Is that what it said?
I don't remember the number now, but yeah.
Who in here uses AI? Just raise your hands. I need a show of hands. We have 100% participation, people. Thank you for that. These 100%. Are the smart people that come out to see Tech Talk Y'all live.
You know, they might be lying to us. There's probably a couple in here that are like, I better raise my hand because everybody else did too. So
that's okay. They're probably a bunch of...
That's like when you ask in a class, like, who does this? And then everybody
raise their hand.
There's a couple of people in there.
There's a bunch of Gemini users in the back. It's okay. It's going to be fine.
Gemini users in the back. Oh, that's rough going.
All right. Next up, LinkedIn data shows AI isn't to blame for hiring decline yet, and I don't believe that at all. I really do not.
Well, they showed a correlation to interest rates, right? So that was really the thing that was driving the decline in hiring.
Okay.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
don't buy it.
I mean, everybody blames it on AI. They're using that as the reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's actually the reason, right?
I think it has to be a reason. I can't imagine.
A reason.
There's no way that it doesn't have an impact. There's no way it doesn't have an impact.
Yeah.
So... Okay.
But I think it's creating new industries and new companies as well. So I think some of that hiring is...
Smaller companies with smaller workforces.
Yeah. I mean, more smaller, right?
Smaller.
Less bigger, it's more smaller.
Did y'all get that?
That's good.
Was that good? Okay.
I think that's right. I think that's good, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Next up, Uber CTO says AI spending plans fall short. They've already burned through all of their budget on Claude.
For the whole year. For the whole year budget, they burned through.
And this is April.
We're in April. Yeah. I feel like that's a lack of planning. I don't feel like that's an AI problem. I feel like that's an Uber CTO problem.
Right.
Like
well, I think it's also this whole philosophy that a lot of these companies have about token maxing.
Yeah.
Right? You've seen this, and there's been some companies that have leaderboards about who is able to use the most tokens up.
Okay.
Which... using up tokens doesn't really relate to actually productivity and actually accomplishing stuff. Maybe you should measure actually accomplishments and not how much quickly I can use up the computer. Like that seems dumb.
Allbirds, the shoes that Sanjay is currently wearing, pivots to become AI services company, and everyone collectively rolled their eyes, but Sanjay thinks it's a good idea. I don't get it.
I didn't think it was a good idea.
Okay.
I think it's a idea. And I wore my Allbirds because, I wanted to wear my AI...
Because they're great. You're wearing them because they're great. Yeah, your AI shoes. Yeah.
So this article explained a lot to me because here at the Avalon, there used to be an Allbirds store. It's gone now.
Yep. And at Ponce Market too. Yep.
Yeah. So I was wondering what happened. And this is what happened. So they sold off the Allbirds brand for $39 million.
Right.
By the way, the company at one point was worth $4 billion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
quite a bit.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But what they said about this in kind of the aftermath was they decided to do this pivot because if they actually just liquidated the company, each shareholder would get approximately 2 cents a share.
Perfect.
So instead of doing that, they were like, let's try something. This AI thing seems to be hot. Let's go into that.
But isn't their strategy like essentially buying processors and leasing out those processors?
Yes, it's a bad idea. It's not going to work well.
Okay.
But, maybe they'll buy the GPUs and the price of GPUs will spike and then they'll sell them for more. So then everybody will get 4 cents a share instead of 2.
Okay.
So see, doubled your money.
Love that.
Right there.
Love that. All right.
There you go. Something that's not going to double your money because this could land you in jail if you do this. Hong Kong police can force you to reveal your encryption keys.
So Sanjay's traveling to Hong Kong like next week, people. He loves this.
Not going to transit through there. Even if you're just transiting through Hong Kong, if they decide that they want to look at your stuff, you have to give them your encryption keys. Otherwise, they can put you in jail.
And they said they can confiscate your devices as well as evidence or whatever else.
Yeah.
So
I think this is a good reason why you should not use your real devices when you're traveling because
some burner devices,
all kinds of stuff can happen. So we've done this. I think I've talked about it before on the podcast. We bought a Framework 12 laptop just for travel.
Yep.
That doesn't have any data on it, so that we just log in and log into stuff from there.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to take a copy of that stuff, rock and roll.
4.8 million in crypto stolen after Korean tax agency exposes wallet seed. Now you're gonna have to explain what a wallet seed is, but essentially, didn't they like print this in the paper? There's like a photo in the paper, and hackers are like, oh, I can take all the money now. Thank you.
So they did the thing that you see so many law enforcement organizations do. Like they confiscated a bunch of stuff. So they took pictures of it and then they posted it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's like they were showing off all the drugs and the weapons and the cash.
Right.
Yeah. The problem is that they had the crypto wallet there. So you see the brand of that. And then the words that allow you to get the funds out of that wallet from anywhere. So one hacker went in there and drained it of $4 million, then decided to return the money for some reason, and promptly another second hacker then took all the money. So, yeah.
I assume the first one was doing it just to make a point, probably. I would assume. That's when I steal $4 million, I do it to make a point. Yeah.
And then you return it right away.
Yeah, and then I give it back.
Of course, that's what you would do.
I did have somebody accidentally deposit $20,000 in my bank account one time, and I did tell them about it, and they're like, "Oh, let me take that back." I was like,
"You told who about it? The bank or the person?"
It was like the fund, like some funding account, like thing that does payments. I don't know, but they accidentally deposited $20,000 in my bank account.
That's when you have
and I called them and I was like, "Hey,
money."
No, I'm not that guy. I'm like, you should
what
take
money?
This back. This isn't money.
I didn't get any of that money. I don't know what you close the account.
It's gone. No, they have to go into the bank. I hate going into banks. Banks are the worst, right, Jeff? Sorry. Moving on.
Is it me? Yeah, it's me. Next up, AI security worries force company to abandon open source. This is like the dumbest thing ever. So this is Cal.com, which has been well known. It's a Calendly kind of...
Yeah, didn't we try that one time? Wasn't there a secret one time?
I think we did.
I thought we did.
It was pretty good.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now they've said that because AI is so good and it's so easy to find holes, that it's better to go closed source so that nobody can scan your source to find the holes. But AI can find holes in closed source products too.
And does regularly.
This is dumb.
But there's less people working on it, so closed source is better? Like, that's the opposite, right?
I don't understand what is happening here. They're getting lambasted over this. A lot of articles have said like they learned the wrong lesson about open source software.
Got it.
I don't think this is going to be a thing moving forward. I think it's actually going to be the opposite. I think AI is going to help a lot more people create open source software and release it because you can do it so easily and so quickly. I think it's a danger to some of these companies that really don't have a moat around them.
Okay.
Because I think people are going to build stuff. Like we did it for the blog for TogetherLetters. Instead of using something like WordPress or something else like that, I was like, we don't need anything fancy. Can you just build me a blogging interface?
Build a CMS. And does
in like half an hour, we had a blogging interface and it works just fine for us. So There you go.
Speaking of hacking, Bitcoin gets new expiration date thanks to Google researchers. This involves quantum computing. So, Sanjay, what's happening?
We talked about this last week, actually.
All right, fine.
So on last week's episode, we talked about how some of this cryptographic algorithms are going to get broken because of quantum computing. Google published a paper about how they were able to crack some algorithms a lot more quickly. Right. They did not share how they did it.
Specifically because they were afraid people were going to use it to
do things like this, but they shared a way that they show that they know how to do it, even without showing how they did it. So a zero knowledge proof. I don't really understand how that works either. That math is beyond me.
Got it.
But the point being that within a few years, Bitcoin could be in danger if they don't upgrade their cryptographic algorithms that run Bitcoin.
Okay.
The problem with that is you got to get a lot of people to agree about new algorithms on something that's as widespread as Bitcoin.
What I'm hearing you say is sell all your Bitcoin before quantum computing becomes a big thing. Is that what I'm hearing you say? I think that's what I'm hearing you say. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I still have mine, but I don't have that
Isn't the same thing going to be true for like banking logins? I mean, like,
I think it's true for a lot of things. Okay. Right. We talked about it last week where a lot of adversaries might have collected up your encrypted stuff without decrypting it and waiting for the time when they have the technology to decrypt it en masse.
Right.
And so they'll be able to see all of the stuff that you had encrypted in the past, even if it's not the stuff that's encrypted today. So it's a big concern. You really should think about how you're protecting your stuff because a lot of that stuff could be open to the public at some point in the future.
Okay, got it.
Next up, and this is a huge deal, Amazon to buy Globalstar for $11.57 billion. You got to have the 0.57 in there too. Yeah, it's not just $11 billion.
It's not worth it for $11 billion.
No, you got to have that extra 57 at the end. Yeah, it would be funnier if it was 6.7, right? They probably should have rounded up, given an extra 100 million there. So Globalstar, if you don't know them, they are a satellite provider. And so it looks like Amazon's getting big into the satellite data space now. Yeah. They just had their results come out the other day. They had $15 billion in AI revenue. They're the second largest grosser. I mean, some of their numbers are just ridiculous off the charts. And then they're like, what's left now? Space.
From groceries to satellites. Like that's the scope of your company. That's a pretty good scope, I gotta say. And they're essentially gonna compete with SpaceX and like potentially, right? Yeah.
So Globalstar has a deal with SpaceX. Okay. So now I wonder if I don't understand how these trees work exactly, right? Because I guess Amazon probably uses Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' space company.
I would hope so.
But if right now they're using SpaceX, is SpaceX kicking them off and not allowing them to use? Like, I don't know how this works.
All right.
It's too complicated for me. I don't do space.
Speaking of complicated, OpenAI slams Anthropic in memo to shareholders. I think, what was the phrase? It was Anthropic's on a substantially smaller curve. Was that the phrase that they used?
Something like that, yeah.
And this is pretty obviously a backlash to the rise in Anthropic because of the backlash against OpenAI for cozying up to the government. Right. And honestly, like, I mean, how many in here use Claude? Like, let's talk about, like, okay, Claude is like if you're not using Claude, it's the greatest. Just to be clear, like it's so much better.
And just in the last day or two, they've released some stuff that's like fantastic.
It's
routines and some other stuff.
It's just unreal. Like, things that amaze me.
So basically, the OpenAI was saying, look, they're planning to spend $30 billion or 50, I don't know, some ridiculous billions of dollars.
Some pretend number.
Yeah, and Anthropic is only going to spend $7 billion or $9 billion.
How pathetic is that? You only spend $7 billion?
Change, right? Like I got that on the couch cushions. And they're basically saying like, look, we're going to have so much more compute than they are, and we're going to be more advanced, and we're going to give away. And one of their lines was, we're going to be able to give more people access to it for free. I'm like, you can't make money on free.
You're already losing money.
I don't really understand that.
That's a bad business plan.
But also, maybe is Anthropic banking on the fact that advances in computing, as well as better models, are going to be more compute efficient. Yep. So they don't need the compute space. Right. So maybe you're betting on the wrong thing. The thing that you're puffing your chest about is maybe the wrong thing.
Yeah, I like that. Still, I'm a Claude fan.
Yeah. Right. Still a big fan of Claude, even though it's been having some issues as of late.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Having issues. I keep having it go down and it won't do things. So really a little bit frustrating. But what's not frustrating is now you can have Google Gemini on your Mac. Google rolls out a native Gemini app for Mac, and the question is, have you tried it?
I have not, but you know who's going to be really excited?
Who's that?
Is our buddy Mickey back there. He loves Gemini. So
I don't love Gemini. I love Claude.
he's talking about how great Gemini is all the time. He's like, I'm using Gemini for this, Gemini for that. I got Gemini in my car. Like he's all fancy now. Yeah, he's got a fancy car with Gemini.
Yeah. So have you tried this yet? Because it's for Mac. I don't have a Mac.
Here's what kills me about this is, ChatGPT's had an app out for how many years now that you can use on your computer, and Claude's been out for how many years? How far behind do you have to be? You're the biggest player in the space.
Well,
how far behind do you have to be?
It's fine. Next week they'll kill this. It'll go to the graveyard like all other Google products.
Sunset
it's totally
fine. It's gonna be great.
It's totally fine. The guy that has that website, the Google Graveyard, he must be raking it in.
Be great.
I don't know how he's raking it in.
All right, you're gonna love this next one, and we got friends in the background on this next one.
Yeah.
Spotify launches physical book purchases, apparently from the
bookshop.org.
Bookshop.org, which supports local bookshops.
Exactly.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. So you can go right on the app, and if you're looking at an audiobook, you can go ahead and just buy a physical copy right on the app.
So good.
I think it's super smart. And what's so funny and interesting about all of this is that for the longest time, we talked about how we were getting away from physical. We were getting away from physical stores and things like that. And like, all that stuff's
coming back. It's swinging back the other direction. Massively.
Yeah.
Even myself, I carry around like a physical notebook in my pocket now. Anybody else carry a physical notebook lately? Like physical notebook in my pocket? Because I don't want to get out my screen. So when I have an idea, I don't want to pull out my phone and have to pull up an app and ignore some other notification or whatever else. I want to just pull out my notebook, write it down, be done, and move on with my day. So it's been amazing.
There you go.
So anyway.
Next up, South Korea introduces universal basic mobile data access.
This is what I'm talking about.
I love this.
Why are we so behind? Seriously, why are we so behind? We're going to talk about this several times in this segment. Why are we so behind?
Yeah. So South Korea says basically everybody has to have access to at least 400 kilobit per second access universally. So even if you use up all your data access on your phone, the carrier cannot cut you off. You can still have access to at least very slow speed data. What kills me about this is that we are the country that invented the internet. Yeah. The internet started here in the US. And South Korea has been lapping us for decades.
Yeah.
Like they were the first ones to say everybody should have access to gigabit internet.
Yes.
This was when we were like complaining about 56K access or something.
Yeah.
Like something slow, and they were saying like, no, that's high speed. And like, no, it's not high speed. And so, yeah, I don't understand what the problem is. I mean,
they're just behind.
We've talked about this on previous episodes. The FCC keeps rolling back kind of the definitions of high speed and access and things like that. And I think it just holds us back in terms of productivity and access and just letting people, especially that are in rural America, have the ability to do the same things that folks in big cities have.
Well, there's one city that's happy or not today. Missouri Town fires half its city council over data center deal. Apparently, the week before, they had approved a big deal for a data center.
A couple of $1 billion deal.
Like $6 billion.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the city is like, nope, you're out. We don't like this deal.
So every incumbent that was up for re-election, 4 of them, they were fired.
They're gone.
They lost their election, and by huge margins too.
Oh, yeah.
And all these, so there's still another 4 members of the city council and the mayor, but now there's a recall happening for the mayor and potentially for the other city council members.
I didn't see it or understand why? Like why are they so? Was there like
so the whole deal happened without any kind of public comment, any public sharing.
Okay.
Like people that had bought houses that were in these serene places, they're like now there's going to be immediately next door this massive data center. They don't know who the data center's with. There's no clarity in that. That's some unnamed organization. Right. So there's a lack of transparency in all of this stuff.
Right.
And obviously the people didn't want it.
Yeah.
So there you go. I guess I hope you got some good kickbacks there, council members. I'm not saying you got kickbacks, but hopefully you did, because there you go.
Because you're out.
Yeah. Europe rolls out online age verification app, and you probably know what I think about this already. This is dumb.
I was thinking it wasn't dumb. Why? Okay, tell me why is it dumb?
Because now everybody has to go get.
That's right. That is why. And you're right. I remember now. I read it and I forgot. Yes.
You read it and you forgot why it was dumb.
It's the same reason. It's dumb for the same reason.
It's the same reason.
We're not going to get super political, but it's dumb for the same reason that we can't require voters to have a driver's license. It's the same reason.
Yeah, I mean,
an undue burden on somebody that
exactly. So now, like, if you want to use the internet, you've got to go prove to somebody that
you have to go down to a government office and get an ID and then register it on this app and do all these things. And that's
okay. So some people are able to do that, and some
not
people
everybody
can't.
can do that,
So now you're saying like, well, yeah, you don't get the internet.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. I mean, I like the concept of a third-party age verification app, just because a lot of social platforms do it so poorly. But to your point, like it's going to exponentially put
a burden on some folks, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like what if you're rural wherever this is?
Yeah,
I don't know, France,
or you can't take time off of work to go get whatever the license
so
is.
Well, I guess I'm not going to get the internet.
Yeah. What was the internet though? It was specifically for social apps, I thought, right?
I think it's social apps.
But even so,
but
like, it's still problematic.
Just creeps, right? Yeah. Like it'll be like, oh, they'll start with that, and like, well, actually, if you want to, renew your pharmacy prescriptions online, you got to do this too. And
no, the AI can do that for you. We talked about that last week.
We did talk about that. Yeah,
it really can.
There you go.
The internet's most powerful archiving tool is in peril. We've talked about this before. The Internet Archive, or was it
archive.org? Yeah, Internet Archive. Yeah.
And
so this is a little bit different though. So they were under pressure before. We talked about this, where they were being sued.
Okay. Because
they were distributing stuff. This is a lot of newspapers now blocking them from crawling their content and preventing the access.
For what purpose, though?
They think that it's going to be used for AI. It's going to be monetized in other ways that then they don't get to participate. And the funny thing about this story was they point out how many times journalists use the Internet Archive to have the facts for the stories that they then put onto these sites that are now blocking the Internet Archive.
That's amazing.
So it's like, this just eventually dries up and your journalists cannot report on stuff anymore. Kind of dumb.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, in the energy and climate section, 7 countries now generate 100% renewable electricity.
And the U.S.
is not one of them.
No.
Is definitely not one of them. Do you remember the countries?
They were not countries that, they weren't like the big ones.
Yeah. Well, some of them were big. So Albania, Bhutan, Nepal, Paraguay, Iceland, Ethiopia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
That's pretty. I didn't expect the Democratic Republic of Congo to be on there.
Right. Ethiopia too. It's pretty big.
Yeah. Okay.
Iceland's kind of small, but and they've got the geothermal vents and stuff like that. They do all the stuff that way. So all of those produce more than 99.7% of the electricity they consume using geothermal, hydro, solar, and wind power. Which is kind of awesome.
Speaking of solar, how Denmark soured on solar. Apparently,
this is the opposite.
The Denmarkians. That's how they go. Let's look about
the Denmarkians. Yes.
There's a movement against solar power. They're calling them.
We just
iron
lost
fields.
All of our listeners in Denmark because you called them Denmarkians. The 3 people we had there.
I like my name.
Nope, done.
It's fine. You don't have to agree with me. It's fine.
Yeah.
I want to call them Denmarkians. They call them the iron fields. They're not digging the solar panels. They want to go back to wheat fields.
They're showing these villages where basically everything around them has been converted over into solar panels.
Yeah.
And I can see it's not the greatest look.
Yeah. Nobody wants to look out and see solar panels. Like those are less fun.
Yeah, exactly. Something that people do want to go out and see. Oh,
it's Weird and Wacky time.
So first up on Weird and Wacky, a sleek wearable airbag for cyclists is nearly here. How many of you are cyclists, bicycle riders? Nobody rides a bicycle?
Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you wear an airbag to protect you? No.
I would love to see you wear an airbag. Can we get a video of that? If you're wearing an airbag, Tim, on a bike and you're coming by me, I'm just going to do that as you come by. It's going to be so good. So good.
I think you might do it even if you're not wearing an airbag.
That's true.
So I'd be careful. So apparently this is a new airbag for cyclists. It inflates within milliseconds, tens of milliseconds.
Yeah, it senses a fall. Senses a fall, inflates in milliseconds, and it protects your vital organs. So, but they've had these for motorcycles for some years where there's like a string or something attached to your motorcycle. Right. And so if you get thrown from the motorcycle, it sort of it's kind of a ripcord and like inflates.
Yeah, but I think the point of it was this is a lot less heavy.
Oh, okay.
So the weight of it is a lot less than the ones that they use in motorcycles.
I could see that. Okay. I like it.
I kind of want to see this in like the Tour de France and like all of them fall at the same time and they all just poof up. Like a bunch of marshmallows.
And preferably they poof up and like bounce around.
Yes. Ideally, that's what I'd like to see. If they became as big as sumo suits.
Oh, I like that. That'd be great. Preferably on a downhill because they could probably get more speed
even better.
down the hill. So.
And then you put chocolate sauce at the bottom and they're all white and marshmallows and chocolate sauce, right? I think that's ideal. I think it's ideal. I don't know what you're thinking about, but that's perfect. I think.
I don't know how to recover from that.
Yeah.
All right. How filming your chores could train the Android butlers of the future. So if your job gets replaced by AI, you can get a job wearing a camera.
Training AI.
Yeah, wearing a camera on your head and filming your chores, like gardening and doing the dishes and all the things that we do.
I think this is called the Matrix, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're training the Matrix. I think that's the goal, right? We're training. We want to train our robot overlords to do chores for us. Yeah. So
in how many generations does it take to have a little thing port in the back of your neck where
two?
They could just two generations?
That's the science. Okay. Yeah, the science says 2 generations.
2 generations.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. So, I mean, okay, we're gonna film for our robot overlords. That's cool, I guess. I'm not excited about it. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, I want them to.
I thought you were the first to sign up for that.
Well, if I sign up for it, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna put on the camera. I'm gonna do all the chores wrong. Okay, so which is also a good strategy for not having to do chores at all. Like if you just do them wrong the first time. So I'm like, I'll be like, here's how you do laundry. You take this pink and you take this white. You
put it in.
Yeah, and you wash it on hot. I guess I don't know. So. Whatever.
Yeah, let's keep you away from the chores.
Yeah.
And finally, in Weird and Wacky, the hottest Apple product right now isn't what you think, but it is actually what we think.
Yeah.
Because it's a Mac Mini.
It's a Mac Mini. Yeah. And it's a Mac Mini so that people can run OpenClaw on the Mac Mini,
right? Working
for them all day. And it's not like your main machine, so it's not like you're not like in danger, essentially.
Right. Until you load it up with all your files.
Yeah. I've got Claude working on a Mac Mini right now, and I can remote into the Mac Mini from my phone, from the Claude on my phone, and have it do stuff for me, and then save it into Obsidian, and then pops right back onto my phone and stuff. I've got a semi setup.
I got a better option for you in Tech Rex in here.
I need a better option, so that would be great.
Tech Rec, time to get your Tech Rec.
Tech Rec, chicky,
Tech Rec.
You guys haven't noticed we like to sing on this podcast. We haven't done any singing today, but there has often been singing involved.
There hasn't been an option to really mention a song.
Yeah, in the podcast. Yeah. I mean, we mention a lot of songs, and we mention TV shows, but not a lot of singing either. So
right, exactly.
All right, there you go.
But now talking about Tech Recs, Adam, what do you have for us this week?
All right, so my Tech Rec this week is, I've done this Tech Rec a lot of times, but since we're in front of a live audience, I had to make my Tech Rec lovable. So who here has used Lovable other than Nikki? Nikki, you don't count. All right, so here's why I'm recommending Lovable, and here's why it's game-changing. Because when I need an app now, I do not go and look for it. I just build what I want in Lovable within 10 minutes, and it is magical. So for example, great example, I've never found a workout app that works for me at all. Like it doesn't log things right. It's not intuitive. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I just built one in Lovable in almost no time, and it's perfectly suited for me. And then I can load it on my phone, like through like a little web browser, but it still looks kind of like an app. And I use it every day, and it's great. And Lovable's like $20 a month. So I've built, I mean, that's one example of an app I've built. I've built probably 6 or 7 apps. Just to make my life better. So it's amazing. So if you're not using Lovable to build little apps for yourself, it is amazing. Mickey's built a ton. We can talk more about it at the end. It's amazing. So, all right. Sanjay, what do you got for us?
So we talked about OpenClaw a little bit ago. I actually have a better option for you.
Okay.
It's called Hermes Agent. So Hermes is out of a nonprofit research group, News Research, I think.
Okay.
But basically, they built it quite a bit differently than OpenClaw. One of the main things that it does is it does reinforced learning. So you can talk to it. When it starts out, it doesn't know a lot of stuff. Over time, it learns about you and about the things that you want it to do. And if you keep getting it to do the same things over again, it will figure that out and build itself skills to do those in a repeatable fashion over time. You don't actually have to tell it to do it. It figures it out on its own. So right now I've got Hermes Agent on my tech rec from last week, Framework desktop.
Yep.
So I've got it running there. I have it connected to my Slack so I can talk to it on Slack and have it do things whenever I want to.
Nice.
And I've got it running on local models in my house.
Okay.
So I'm not using cloud models.
Yeah, so you're not
worry about
burning tokens or whatever.
I don't worry about burning tokens.
Yep.
In a few days, I've burned over 4 million tokens. Hermes has tracked that. And I can do multiple threads at the same time. So I've got my assistant there. I can start it on one thing and then tell it to start doing other things. And it does everything in parallel. And it is fantastic. Now, Hermes Agent, you also install it, but you can actually run multiple versions of it at the same time. So you can run different profiles and tune them differently to say like, hey, this is my researcher. This one's my chief of staff. This one is my, coder, whatever. And it manages all of that stuff. So
you've just ruined my weekend.
I know. There you go. So
I
it's
freaking
a lot
hate
safer.
you. Thank you.
It's built with a lot more security in mind. As you know, I'm security minded. Yeah. So it's better than OpenClaw in my view. Check it out. It's Hermes Agent.
All right. Sanjay, how can our listeners find and connect with you?
They can find me at sanjayparg.com. What about you, Adam?
You can find me on my website, adamjwalker.com. You can also find our website, TogetherLetters.com, which is our software for fixing the problem with social media, which is vast and many.
And there's a lot of fun stuff coming on Together Letters soon.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So sign up.
If anybody's on Product Hunt, let us know.
Yeah,
so
might be coming there soon.
That's the end of the show.
How long did we go?
I have no idea. How long we go.
This is the problem. When we're actually recording,
about 35 minutes.
35.
Yeah,
okay.
35.
When we're actually recording, we actually have a counter, so we actually see how long we're going. Like 10 minutes in, I was like,
I had no barometer at all. I had no clue what was happening.
I just kept talking at that point.
So any questions? We'll do some Q&A now about anything show related or podcast related or Lovable related is fine too. We'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. So any questions for anybody?
I couldn't drink any water during the thing because my straw fell out.
It's really embarrassing, man. Jeff, what you got?
How has the show changed since the very first one to today?
It went from really awkward to different kind of really awkward. I think it was
awkward for everybody else. Not awkward for us, awkward for you.
It's gotten tighter. Like we can transition, almost seamlessly, even online between the two of us. And I know when he's wrapping up and we can just sort of do it. So I think it's gotten a lot better in terms of that.
I think we're better with our segues too. So we don't actually, a lot of people think that we plan and we script out. Nothing is scripted.
Nothing's
the
planned.
The only thing that we have in front of us, if you see our computers, is a list of articles. That's all we've got.
Yeah.
So we both have read the articles. So we kind of try to put them together in categories and stuff like that. Now we're using AI to kind of group some of the stuff.
We've gotten smarter.
But a lot of times we'll just on the fly figure out segues from one story to the next. I don't know if we did a good job today in the segues, but sometimes there's good things you pick up on one thing in one article and realize that it hooks into the next article and use that as the hook into the next one. So we've gotten better with that for sure. It's been 9 years.
Production's gotten better too over the years too.
Production's gotten better too. Yeah.
So that's been fun. Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if I'm behind the curve with Claude and everything. I've just started implementing agents and worked on my onboarding and all that stuff with various clients. But one thing you said that stuck out to me was Hermes being safer. And I've just now implemented some automations, which I guess is like an online agent. What is the safety risk I need to be looking at?
Yeah. What did you use?
Claude Code.
You're safe with Claude Code. I think if you use almost everything inside of the Claude
the Claude
universe, you're pretty solid.
SB code or SB terminal or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Claude Code inside of Terminal, right? Yeah, that's still Claude Code.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I've actually never used that.
Yeah.
I actually use the terminal properly, or I use that.
Oh,
the app.
It's great. I've run multiple terminals at the same time and have them burning through tokens simultaneously.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the danger is the burning the tokens.
Yeah.
That's the. Other than that.
So as long as you haven't given it stuff, or you haven't given it access to stuff, or you know what you're giving it access to, you're probably pretty safe. The only thing I would warn you about is that Claude Anthropic can keep your data for up to 2 to 3 years, even if you've told it not to train on your stuff, which you should absolutely turn that off. They can still hold on to your stuff for a while. So I would just.
Well, how's that tie into you said you had yours connected to Slack?
Yeah. So a little bit dangerous because it's connected to Slack. That is a third-party system, and I'm talking to it that way. I've actually thought about that, and I just haven't had the time. There's a service called Mattermost, which is a open source, essentially Slack replacement. You can just have the service and use them, or you can run your own. So then it's fully contained at that point. I'm probably going to do that at some point, so it's fully contained in that situation. But then on the other side of it, I'm using local models. So I don't really worry about the data that I'm giving it because none of the processing happens outside of my house. Everything's on that machine. So, like some of these people have used Claude to do their taxes this season, stuff like that. I'm like, you could do that. It might be a little risky, but if you did it with a local model like this, it'd be a lot safer.
Yeah. Well, now I have mine connected to like Asana and Slack and GitHub and all that stuff.
I mean, honestly, those are all cloud-based services as it is. Yeah. So they're at risk to being hacked anyways. So connecting them up to more stuff is like, it's probably okay. Yeah. What else?
Do y'all do the editing?
Yeah.
Y'all means Adam.
Y'all being me. Yes.
Yes. And then our producer at Edgewise does all the social media content for us.
Yeah, I don't do the clipping. Like the social clipping, I don't want any part of that. So Amy, who's amazing. Amy does all of that. and yeah, she takes care of that.
Yeah. She used to be in Vancouver, now she's in Toronto. So we're on the same time zone now, which is good.
The best.
Yeah. And only I've met her. You haven't actually met her in person. So
whatever.
Anyways.
How often do y'all bring guests on your show? And then with that, what's your favorite guest y'all ever brought?
According to all the emails that we get about bringing guests on the show, all the time.
You think it's constant?
It's never.
We get pitched every. We've had like what, 2 ever? I mean, we've had sub-ins when like one of us is out of town. It's like Mickey's guest hosted before. I think you've guest hosted before, Jeff. But we've only had one actual guest on the show. It was for episode 404, right?
Oh yeah,
I think that was it.
Right.
That was Andre Dickens, the mayor of Atlanta. Guest came as for like a segment about Atlanta for episode 404,
right?
Sort of thing, and that was fun.
That was fun,
and that was during Mickey's event. So I was the comments
we thought because it was the episode 404 that it made sense to get the mayor of Atlanta.
We get pitched for guests all the time.
It's like you clearly like, oh, we love your podcast. You don't listen to the podcast because clearly we don't have guests on this podcast. Yeah. We have them on other podcasts.
A lot.
Not this
Real Pink is nothing but guests.
Exactly.
And that one's fun.
Exactly. If you want to be a guest, you have to be the mayor of a big city.
That's it.
Mayor of a big city with an area code and an episode number that we're about to do, and there's actually some reason for that area code.
And we have an in. We had an in with Andre. So that helps as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know who we're going to get for next week's episode of 420.
Elon. We're going to have to call Elon. Yeah, just call him up, man.
I think we should get Snoop Dogg. That would be better.
Listen, you could probably get to Elon. I don't know if you can get to Snoop Dogg. I'm just saying.
I don't want to get to
Sanjay has some weird networks, people, in case y'all didn't know. Dude's got some weird connections. Like every once in a while, I'll mention like some big company. He's like, oh yeah, I know the CTO of that or whatever. I'm like, what is happening, man? So anyway.
What else? Yeah.
Do y'all not have sponsors or ever?
This has always been kind of a labor of love more than anything else.
We did have some sponsors.
We did. That's true. We did earlier. Yeah, for the first couple of years. But
we sponsored briefly.
Yeah, the sponsorships were it was pretty cheap sponsorships.
We'll take sponsors. We'll take sponsors if anybody wants to sponsor, but we don't really push it because honestly, it has been just we've done it because it was fun. So maybe it makes sense to tell the origin story a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So Adam gets the origin story wrong because he thinks it happened differently. He's wrong about this. So
I'm always right.
He and I were acquaintances like 9 years ago. At best. We actually got introduced because of Jeff.
Yeah.
And Adam would ping me every 6 months or so to get together, whatever.
For coffee.
And
Sanjay would begrudgingly do it.
Exactly. And back then, about 9 years ago, I just started up this space. I was asked by the mayor of Peachtree Corners to start this space, Prototype Prime, which was a nonprofit hardware and software incubator. And as part of that space, I was like, this podcasting thing sounds like it's cool. We'll build out a space for that. And I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of iteratively built this thing, never podcasted before, didn't know anything about it. And Adam so happens to be around for a tour. And so I give him a tour of the space, and then we sit down and we're just chit-chatting and kind of offhandedly mention now they're telling me that, because now we have a space for podcasting that I should start a podcast. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And Adam just self-volunteers himself and be like, well, I'll do it with you.
Wait, this is my version of the story. I think somehow you've got it wrong.
No, you used to say it happened differently, but I asked you. You volunteered yourself.
Yeah, I'm not dumb.
And you just jumped in there. And no, I think the proper version has gotten into your head now. Because you said it differently before.
Politely disagree.
Anyways, that's how the whole thing started. And episode 1 that you hear, if you go back in the website, is actually not episode 1. Yeah. It's episode like number 4 or 5.
Yeah,
we recorded a bunch and they were not good.
Yeah.
And then finally we decided to kind of pull the trigger and start publishing them.
That's been fun.
Kind of away we went.
Yeah, been a weekly thing ever since. We're in person for
bi-weekly for a while. And
that's
then
right.
It was weekly.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. That's right. And in person at first, and then virtual with COVID, and now virtual because of convenience, honestly.
Yeah. Scheduling wise, it just makes it easier. We can change schedules very easily.
Yeah.
And everything. So, yeah.
You're not doing this for learning.
Nope.
Is it?
The laws. We do it for the laws.
Well, so I mean, I'll speak to my reasons. I don't know what your so I've got a couple of reasons. The first is it's the most concentrated time period of my week of laughter. Like just straight out. Like I laugh more in recording Tech Talk Y'all than I do
We did
any
get
other
some
thing.
chuckles out of them, by
That's
the
what
way.
I'm saying. So like so that's my really, if I'm being honest, like that's really my main reason. It's fun. The other, I mean, we do have a podcast company, Edgewise.Media. So it's kind of good that we have a podcast for the podcast company. Like, it'd be kind of bad if we did anything. So I think that's a benefit.
Eat your own dog food thing. Yeah.
And also, like when we're pitching to people, and we're talking about how it's really, you start a podcast not for the podcast, you really start it for the social content, and then we use this as a proof text for that. But like because we have marginal listeners for the show, but we've got reels that hit over 1 million views. We've got TikToks that have hit hundreds of thousands of views. Like,
I mean, we were asked, the side effect thing is the interesting thing, I think, for us in terms of all this. So years ago, there used to be a TV show on WXIA Channel 11 called Tech Edge. And we went on there like once or twice. And then they were like, oh, you guys are fun. Would you guys come on once a month? And we're like, okay, sure. Fun thing to do. We ended up becoming friends with all the production folks there, and the host, Kara Kinnear, who's still a friend.
Yeah.
She's actually come on the show before to fill in for one or the other of us in the past as well. So the side effect, like we're the same people that we were before, but now because there's a podcast, people are like, oh, these guys are not complete morons. Let's get them on the TV show or get them to come and do this or whatever. Yeah, some of you are like, yeah, no, you guys are complete morons.
No,
we can see it in your faces. It's
I think we've made it clear that I'm the moron and you're not. I'm cool with it. I know my place. It's good. I'm good.
So the side effect thing is, I think, interesting as well. And that's part of the reason, I think, for me to keep doing it as well. Yeah. But it is fun. And it keeps us sharp on all the tech news as well.
Man, I'm reading tech news every day. Yeah. Or summaries of it, at least.
Yeah.
Every day. So, from Flop.
You mentioned like clips, like going viral. Like, what are your thoughts on like recent acquisitions of podcasts, like OpenAI acquired one? It's mainly because of the clips versus the viewership. Or
it feels to me like they're going to have a hard time getting their money back out of it. I mean, if you want to own the media for it, that's fine, and they're really going to use it as a PR engine to shape media with it. Is what they're going to do, and that's fine. But I have a hard time believing they'll ever see a payoff from it. So
yeah, like I mean, whoever bought, was it Spotify that bought Gimlet Media?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know that they've made their money back.
Or like when they bought, I mean, Joe Rogan's podcast is huge, and maybe the advertising for Joe Rogan's podcast pays for it because I mean he made hundreds of millions, I think, on that.
Yeah, but there's been backlash because of it too. So they also lost subscribers because of it.
So it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion.
Yeah, media is just a tough. I mean, that's why newspapers we have an issue with, the TV stations, like all of these things, because just the monetization side is hard. And we didn't actually tag a story for this, but I just saw a story about OpenAI is now going to do cost per click ads. And it's like, okay, we've advanced this far to have AI, and yet you're still using the same cost per click ad technology that Google kind of invented decades ago now at this point, right? So nobody's really figured out how to monetize this stuff in a way that is sustainable, which is, I think, the difficult part.
I was going to say, TogetherLetters is kind of a factor too, though. You promote that through there, and that is a money-making venture for y'all.
Yeah, we made like how much did we make last month in Together Letters? Come on now.
It's like $40.
$40, baby.
In theory, though.
But it's going up. It's going to be going up here.
Yeah, it's going up.
So yeah, I mean, it is a good outlet for us to talk about some of the other projects that we work on. Absolutely. And if any of you don't know Together Letters, I will make the pitch right now. So Together Letters was something we started about 4 years ago as an answer to social media sucking. And so, the problem with social media is you don't see the updates from people that you care about, or they don't post or whatever. So on Together Letters, you can go on, create a group, just add people's email addresses. They'll get an invite. They just have to click yes, accept. And then once a week, once every other week, once a month, or once a quarter, they'll get an email says, click here to provide your update. They click there. They don't have to log in. They just have a box. They type in a short update, character limited, so they're not going to write a novel or anything. Hit submit. The system combines all of those, creates a newsletter for your group. It never gets published on the web, so it's never searchable by search engines. Nobody can do a reply all. You can click on somebody's name. Yes, I know, that's awesome, isn't it? We built it for the way that we want to have email, and
that's
not
right.
like you don't like getting 1,000 emails that say congratulations. We all get it. Everybody's saying congratulations. But you can click on their name and send an email just to that person and create that one-on-one interaction with them, right? So it's reinforcing that bond that we think is important. So one of the things, we haven't actually made this public yet, one of the things that's going to be coming out soon is actually Together Letters for large organizations. So we're actually moving into this where organizations can use this so that leadership has a view into what's happening in their organization on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. So we're going to use AI to summarize hundreds and thousands of people's updates so that you can actually see this, but you'll still be able to drill down. So if you see in the summary, like, oh, this is an interesting thing, who said something about this topic, you'd be able to drill down and find those people in your organization that are talking about this and be able to actually build that one-on-one relationship. So
we have a Together Letters group for this group. So if any, half of you are out of it, if any of you want to be, just let me know after all that. And we do it every 2 weeks through this. Just what's going on, what projects you're working on, whatever.
It's one of the best. It's one of the most active groups that I'm on. Actually, like it's a really every 2 weeks, like I give a little update, but there'll be like 10 or 12 updates from people. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's what Jenny's up to, Like, oh, that's cool, So it's great.
Yeah, we're on another one just for the Atlanta startups. And so it's great. Sometimes I'll post in there and I'll get random other people to be like, oh, here's some advice for this or advice for that. Yeah. Like we're going to be launching Together Letters onto Product Hunt soon. The consumer side of it, not the organizational side of it. And actually one of the guys that's on that newsletter, the guy that does Terminal, Ryan Cole. Oh, nice. He reached out and said, oh, let me know because he's big on Product Hunt.
Yeah.
He launched
if anybody else is big on Product Hunt, or you can just go ahead and create an account today on Product Hunt. That'd be great. So. Yes, there you go.
Awesome.
For the Call Marketers Group?
Yeah, extended work on it to get more people engaged with it, but it's helpful for us.
Yeah.
Because our in-person meetings are sporadic, as I schedule them. So they're usually every other month. But Together Letters keeps us together.
Yeah. There you go.
That's right. The thing I found that helped, so you guys have this option turned off by default, but it's set where if you don't give an update to it, you don't get a copy of the group newsletter. I have ours set where everyone gets a copy of it anyhow, because then I think you get some FOMO, like, oh, I should have contributed to that.
Yeah.
Like Allie at one point said, like, I don't think this group I've been sent it anymore. I'm like, no, you just never submitted it. So for Amy and anyone else, there's an option. I can argue either way, but in our case, keep it open. Like, I want people to see the updates and miss out, and then that I think is work to inspire them to contribute.
I've been in some groups where, like my Leadership Atlanta group, where it actually encourages people to respond, even if they have basically nothing to say, because they're like, I want to make sure I get the newsletter.
I've done that.
It's useful to know that they're actually still reading, and it's not going into a black hole. So it depends on, I think, your group dynamics.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like to give the option.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Together Letters or non-Together Letters for Leading?
When's the next song?
What is the next?
When is the next song coming up?
The next song that we're going to make up?
It could be literally any moment.
We missed episode 404.
It could be literally any moment. We're going to come up with a song.
Yeah.
The next produced song.
So the problem is that the sound effects that you hear are from early on.
They're from producer Shannon that made those,
Shannon.
and I'm too lazy to remake them.
Right.
So I'm not ever playing.
Well, and like that final thing, that's Adam going do 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 do, and now it's become kind of a part of the thing.
Sign off,
that if we ever change that, like I think there was like 1 or 2 episodes that it was missing.
Oh, people let us know. Yeah.
People flip out on us.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, but they're mainly entertainment based. But those sound effects and also just the phrasing you use is part of like the community of the show.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of successful podcasts that will just take the random target phrase they use in their episode.
Yep.
Now they reference them over and over. They make merch based on them.
Yeah.
We've actually talked about making merch, and we just haven't gotten around.
We come up like every show. We come up with either a T-shirt slogan or some website we should buy and build.
We did that today.
Not today.
There's nothing today.
It's pretty frequent.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then the titles too. It's always interesting to see how you title episodes.
Somewhat randomly, it's how we title episodes. AI helps me with my titles for sure.
It's going back and forth. Like we were doing a different theme earlier on, and it's changed a bit.
There was one a few months ago that was titled like Reese's Peanut Butter Cup something, and I went through the whole episode like they never talked about it at the very end.
The very end. Yeah. I think it was in the chit chat at the end. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
I was waiting for the title to show up, and
you gotta search for it.
So
you gotta search for it.
Wait for that reason.
And we've done weird episodes too. We did one where we taste tested Kit Kats.
Yeah, on a
Japan.
podcast. I don't know why you would ever do that. It was a terrible idea.
It was a
we taste tested.
idea.
These were Kit Kats from Japan.
From Japan.
And so like there was like a green tea flavored Kit Kat.
And we weren't doing video back then either. It was a horrible idea. Like food testing on an audio only podcast. It's dumb.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
We should go back and find that episode.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yep. Anyway.
Do you know anything about the missing Kit Kats?
About the missing Kit? No. But the Kit Kat company said good on them for stealing all those Kit Kats. In case you don't know what Caroline's talking about, there was it was like a few $1 million worth of Kit Kats that were stolen recently in Europe out of a truck.
Okay.
So yeah.
Who knew?
But Kit Kat, the company, said, you have good taste, Tubes. I mean, I guess you're not going to be able to recover those. They're going to be all melted by then. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a question for the whole room with podcasts. Do you mainly listen to them or do you watch them?
Who listens? Raise your hand if you listen. It's a lot. Raise your hand if you watch.
Okay, no, let's
So more listen than watch, it looks like. Okay, yeah. I'm more on the listen side.
Every show now does.
Oh yeah,
pizza.
yeah, gotcha.
It surprises me. It's just not how I consume.
Yeah, but I think YouTube is so huge and continues to grow. You got to do it. Yeah, what you got, Tim?
Yeah, I just was recently looking at analytics. You should probably do that.
Yeah.
And what I know, and I like because I don't really. And the audio, was looking at demographic, the audio, our podcast, Think Inclusive, is like 45 to 55 is like the biggest margin.
Right.
YouTube, 25 right now.
Yep.
Like, and it's like by a lot. Also, the majority of our listeners are female for audio.
Okay.
The majority of our video watchers are male, and that is why. Yes.
Oh,
yes. Story. We've been doing the podcast for 13 years. The vast majority of people who consume the podcast are female.
That's great.
And I was like, isn't that interesting that a male audience prefers video?
Yeah. So they sell it out and then choose it. I would say, that's amazing.
Allie feels like she's speaking from experience there.
There it is.
Yeah.
And watch out.
That's funny.
Where?
You can do it now?
Before we wrap up, let's take a quick pic of everybody here in the room. I can't see you, Adam.
Okay, I'll get in. There we go. Ah! Are you in? Are you in?
I don't know.
You're in.